Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to this brand new podcast series. It is called A Day in the Life of. And the whole context of this podcast basically is to help all of us understand what are the professional journeys of uh, typical technology professionals, and we help and derive some nuggets from those journeys to understand their mantra of success, their challenges, and we pick up nuggets from their journeys to see what is it that students who are into engineering right now, what are the nuggets they can pick from these conversations to help them be more ready and more prepared for their careers. So today we have a guest called Mr. Prem Kumar. He works in BGSW Bosch in Coimbatore, and he is playing a role of project manager right now. So welcome, Prem. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Very good morning, Chinmay and all. Thanks for inviting me to give or share my experience from the journey of this 16 years in the industry of and as well as in the BGSW. I started my career as fresher in BGSW, and then I'm continuing now as a senior project manager.
Oh, excellent. So when did you join Bosch, Prem?
Okay, it's on June 2008. As soon as I completed my college, um, lucky enough, I got placed in two companies. One is Wipro and the other one is Bosch. And of course,
Oh,
2008 was a recession time, and then Bosch called me as a first, so I grabbed this opportunity and
excellent,
got inside.
excellent. So where have you studied and what have you
Uh,
done?
okay, I studied, and as well as I'm currently working also in Coimbatore. I did my BE in Karpagam College of Engineering in the batch of 2004 to 2008. And of course, I continued my studies as an part-timer in the MBA systems with the Bharatidasan Institute of Management. And of course, I interested on international business. I have done a PG diploma post my engineering graduate. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you have studied parallelly. You completed your MBA parallelly, is it?
Yes, exactly. I mean, after 2008,
After
but
2000.
I completed both this part-time and distance together.
Ah, okay. Okay. Interesting. So, your specialization in engineering has been in computer science or something else?
Yes, yes, in the computer science.
Computer science. So you're always motivated to learn about computer science?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what the journey also changed when I started my career with the scripting technology, and then into the desktop-based Java application. That's where I was into it, and we were lucky enough by those days we were given on-the-job trainings and etc. So though we learned theoretical concepts at the university, but then back to companies, or we were more or less given an on-the-job training for 3 months or 4 months. But that's not the case now. So the competition is different. So even we are forced to be upgraded in the technology. So even I continue to learn the data science and artificial intelligence, not just the pure Java application. So the combination still is required now.
So Prem, help us understand what are you doing today? What is the role you are playing now? And know how does it impact the company?
Okay, so primarily my role is I would call it as an program managerial role,
Okay.
where we handle software solution for the vehicle computing. The vehicle computing in the context, okay, how over the air our new cars getting updated. If there is
Mhm.
an Alexa voice compatibility, and there is a quick fix to be done in the app, and it has to be fixed inside the car, so an Ethernet based communication required. So for such programs, so we develop application software. So those engineers who work on such a complex program, we offer some desktop and then web applications. So this is my primary area. So the entire tool set we will provide them. And of course, as I said in the past, it's direct engineering application we were delivering, but it's not anymore because our customers are also moving towards advanced technologies, and then we have to introduce an advanced solution also inside our program. So you're on mute, yes.
Yeah, sorry. So your role is currently, you said you are a project manager. So
Yes.
what exactly the role you are playing? So I understand your teams are developing. So you have a team, and how does it work?
Exactly. So my role is primarily starting from the customer requirements, breaking down the customer requirements, and giving to one project executable requirements. Because I'm handling overall solution, I would say it's a big picture, even covering the
Mm.
entire start of the development and then delivering the solution to the OEM. So we have tool chains or the softwares focusing on the entire the ECU development cycle. So that means it's almost the consumer range is around 600 to 700. And inside the program, so we have 3 to 4 projects which focuses on the around 150 to 200 end users.
Mm.
So my role is primarily to get these requirements and then clearly given as a work package, we call it, where these teams would develop inside the sub project level, and getting these developed solution, either it could be a software or it could be a conceptual designs. So we bring all together and then give it to the customer team. So that's my primary role at the moment.
So who do you have to work with in your day-to-day like interactions are with which are people like what how does your typical working day looking like?
Okay, so in the typical way, so we are working with multiple regions, of course. So I have uh, stakeholders or the user base in 3 to 4 regions.
So they are your
Vietnam,
customers basically.
India. Yes, exactly. And all of them are inside Bosch customers in my context.
Hmm.
So who will interact with the OEM in the sense like
Yeah.
BMW or whatever it is. But my primary role is to provide these softwares to these members in these 4 regions. And of course, this is on the customer point of view or user point of view. But on the other hand, I have my team here. So this is also a diversified team, which is seated in Romania, Germany, and as well as in India. So where we have this virtual teams and get these software development on a daily basis. Yeah.
So like you are managing this project for getting this work package delivered. So you have to work with all these teams. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Do you have a direct team reporting or all these teams independent and you are just a facilitator, kind of a
Yes,
independent
exactly.
consultant?
At the moment, yes, I'm a facilitator kind of thing. So you can, okay, to better say in an org structure. So it's called a solution train. So the solution train, I'm acting as a solution train engineer, whereas the solution train manager and architects are seated in Germany.
I see.
So in this case, we have release trains from different regions, whomever I mentioned, and then as well as couple of product teams whom we get these things. So, which means they are not directly managed by me in this context, but only in the technical context. So, I'm the request provider and then receiving the solutions. Yeah.
So from the your side of the organization, in your delivery organization, who are your interfaces? Who do you work with? And who do you have to get work done from?
Okay. Primarily the product teams, as I said, in the bottom, if I say, whom we get the solution, and this is in agile way concept. It's product teams where these product teams have an product owner and then the agile master and then couple of developers. But in my day-to-day life, I mostly interact with these product owners and agile master because these product teams work independently because we don't want to disturb each developer. So that means they are my primary interfaces here. And on the other hand, on the upper side, it's a OEM responsible who works inside Bosch. So either it could be a BMW Spock from Bosch, either in India or Germany, or another OEM. So like this.
So, okay, so let me just phrase my understanding.
Yeah. Yes.
So the way I understood your role is basically you are a kind of a program manager who is taking requirements from your clients within Bosch who are
Yes.
directly
Yes.
working from OEMs in terms of what they would need to build or maybe in ECUs or other embedded system architecture around automobiles. And then you basically front end this for the client side
Yes.
internally and
Yes.
work with different other product teams to ensure that the required features are getting developed in time. at the required
Yes.
quality and everything. Uh,
Yes.
that basically you are. So for this kind of a role, what are the key important skills I think that you possess and that help you do this job better?
Okay. From my point of view, there are two important aspects. One is getting the clarity on the big picture. So, because we have to deal with multiple product teams and associated technologies and everything. So, that big picture, how this is structured, and that is a much important one. Then the second aspect is the domain knowledge. So
Mm.
we must know, of course, though we can talk about the customer requirements, but at least getting an idea, okay, how this field works in this engineering domain. Say one such example, I would say we get the customer inputs, and then it has to be integrated and then to be flashed into an ECU or VCU. Then how this integration happens, such a domain idea we must get it, because if there is an optimization required, we can't blindly talk, okay, okay, we can do, but the thing is, of course, how this integration works and how this could be optimized. So this means that day-to-day learning is required. These are the
Mm.
two aspects from mine.
So you talked about domain knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah. So domain knowledge around automotive and ECU related
Yes.
engineering, which is important for you to develop, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure that when you joined Bosch, you did not have that domain knowledge. So
Yes.
what has been your experience? How you have built it over these years? So I think you have spent 16 years in Bosch now. So what has
Yeah.
been critical? What has been, what are those key things that you have done to really build that domain knowledge in the company?
Okay. So in my area, when I worked, it's a smaller product team when I started. So my scope is to ensure, okay, the nook and corner around that topic is required. But then on a later phase, I try to look into a big picture. Of course, in the initial phases, we don't have those many data sources. So either inside Bosch, we have a Bosch Connect, or we call it as an Confluence pages, so where we have this information. But now with the technological advances, so even there are bots available and then everything available. So you get an big picture about it through all these tools available. But at least as a first step, you must look for what is unknown, what is the gray area around you. So otherwise, it's really complex for you. When I took this vehicle computing, also it's entirely new for me, and even inside Bosch also it was quite new. But to get the big picture, if when I started surfing the internet, then I found, okay, similar development happening in our competitors like Infineon and others. So they also have published some of these concepts, how this works and etc. So then
Mm.
you get an idea, okay, how my users are working in this. Then I really place or at least look into their perspective, okay, how I have to develop my software based on their needs. So for me, yeah, trying to understand our stakeholder and the feeler is important. If we start exploring, and then definitely there are options to learn. So now there are plenty of tools, plenty of forums available to learn.
So basically, I think the message you are giving is that you need to explore all the options. There are a lot of options
Yes.
and content
Yes.
available within the company itself. And I think
Exactly.
we need to build that knowledge on a continuous basis to really see in our area of interest to really progress further, right?
Exactly.
So I also know that you have done a PMP certification. Is that
Yes.
so? When did you do that?
Okay, I have done it in 2018. Um,
2018.
2018. But prior to that itself, I was a volunteer in the community of practice at Bosch, where we already have an project managers community,
Hmm.
which is almost 16, 17 years old.
Great.
And of course, that forum gives me a lot of networking and new learning, because if you look at Bosch now, it's more than 20,000 plus people. So when I joined, it's in my corp region, it's around 1,000 people alone, but it's drastically changed. So, and we can't get to know how the other project managers really work and their best practices,
Hmm.
and that pushed me to join into this community, and later I have been part of this core member of this community, and that of course pushed me. Of course, I have to do PMP certification, and so once I complete PMP certification, that is the base even we can do for a Bosch certified project manager. There is another exam Bosch offers where you
Mm.
can do a next level of certification to really handle extremely complex topics and etc.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's the passionate brought me this certification, and of course this more into this project manager career path. Yeah.
So how has it helped you in your career doing
Yeah,
PMP?
exactly. Yeah, definitely, because it so you somewhat learn these parts in as an theoretical way, but you really try to understand whether you are implementing the right practices or not. But this certification really helps you because the questionnaires, whatever we prepare, we might have handled in a different way, the same day-to-day project management. But whatever the guideline says, the
Mm.
best version it says, you wouldn't have aware about it, but such certification really helps you to think in that perspective.
Okay.
That opens the door for what is the right approach, what is my own approach. It clearly distinguish that way, so then we can move from my approach to the right approach.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
So, are there any other certifications or courses that you recommend for, people aspiring to continue or enter this field?
You mean automotive or from a college to corporate?
From a college to, a professional field for, freshly out of college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, as I initially said, now the data science and machine learning or even artificial intelligence relevant certifications really important, because the reason behind is everywhere uh, the organization wants to look at optimization or efficiency improvement in a day-to-day life. So in the past, it's everything called as an automation, but now it's more or less machine learning and artificial intelligence. So definitely this helps you. Uh, and of course, the second one, what I recommend, probably you should be master in one of the programming language, whichever the programming language you prefer or you're stronger enough. If you claim, okay, you're good at Java, then please go on. If you're in Python or if you are in C++, just
Mm.
look at one of this core technology and then be master in it. So that better. That's better. Yeah.
Okay. So, can you elaborate a little bit more on the career path? See, I think one thing, I think what I think people have in mind is, uh, I mean, they are not, there's lack of clarity from outside in terms of what that career path in technology, how it unfolds. So, if you can, based on your experience, what would you, can you just share like how the career path for a, let's say, project manager will unfold? So, let's say there's a technical guy who's studying engineering right now.
Hmm.
Should he aspire to become a project manager, or people who want to get into some kind of technology management, blend it with their technology expertise? What is that career path available today for them in large companies like Bosch?
Okay. So from my view, or even in any organization, say if you are really master in the project management, if you did in um, um, yeah, bigger certification or something related to project management in the masters or PhD in a highly recognized universities like IIM or IIT, then probably these colleagues directly join as a project manager. But in most scenarios, if you are a BE graduate, so you must do this one because you must learn what is the fundamental, because you can't just manage the project without knowing the day-to-day development of a developer skill set, what is required, and their daily day-to-day operation. If you are not aware about it, because we can't really look at the project management. So even our most of us career also started as a developer, and then you head towards as a technical lead, try to understand how this technical base works. Because and then you move into the project management, you move into an budget aspect, then delivery aspect, then you come into an people aspect. So these three would come into that as a next step. But then once you really play as a good team member, then you can master in all these things, because you know the technology, you know how you can better collaborate as a team member, then you can lead the guys in a better way. So those fundamentals are required, because that's how my career path too. So
So
So,
basically, you would say when would is a good time to do that PMP kind of a certification? Let's say somebody who is joining as an engineer in a technical role,
yeah,
and he wants to get into project management or program management kind of roles later on. What is a good time
okay.
to really push
The,
and prepare ourselves for that kind of roles?
the right time, I would say, when you're when you started as a technical project lead. So
Okay,
from there, you're starting towards project manager. So that's the right time you can do this one, because as I initially said, rather than doing your own approach, you can go with an best approach, what the guidelines say.
sure. So maybe like blend both of the best learnings
Yes.
in under PMP and
And,
then merge it with your own experience of
yeah,
how
exactly.
it is.
And you can also practice. Yes.
Correct. Correct. Shachi, you were asking something. Sorry.
yeah. So, yeah, you were talking about your career path and the different roles that you had to fill in to reach to become a project manager. So, throughout this journey, what would you say, in your experience, was the most challenging aspect? And at the same time, what was the most rewarding aspect for you throughout this journey?
Okay. So inside Bosch, we always see, rather than a team, you even if you find our Teams channel creation, it's always family, either a Bosch family or your department where you belong, your department family. So that way, it's the culture. It's been set from the beginning. So you always feel it is an happy working place. That means you're not blocked to do. The one what you would like to do. So that means the team is supporting like a family, and my superiors always support me. So this way, this environment was set in a better way from the start of the career. That means I was able to go into my career path in a better way, and find new opportunities wherever there is a challenge. And even my previous managers really helped me out in this journey. So she brought some kind of a challenging topics like task force or whatever it is, where they believe, of course, I can do the better here. So this means I get an opportunity, and so there, even I don't feel it as really a challenging, because I always feel, okay, if this is also not moving in this right direction, I find an other approach, but maybe I have to stretch a bit. But that doesn't mean it's not the end of the road. We always had such kind of people around. So that means, in this case, I would say even this whole 16 years is I feel an achievement. As you said, the challenges, it's a smaller portion. At least I haven't felt something like an extremely blocked situation. The project could not be delivered or something, but there were some hurdles happen, but it's sorted out.
No, so
That's
actually, if you can, the whole idea frame is that no, why we are stressing on the challenges piece of it
Yeah.
is, for example, I would assume one thing. So see, I mean, you are one challenge which I can foresee now for you would be
Hmm.
when you do not have people reporting into you, but you need to get
Yes.
work done from them,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
How do you deal? So that's a challenge, right? It's so
Yeah.
they are not obligated to listen to you. They are not, nobody is there. I mean, they can have their own priorities. You have your own priorities. How does it work?
Okay, so such scenarios, of course, we already have an proper agile structure, I would say, the planning and commitment. So definitely, people committed, but may not deliver as you expect. But how do we enable this? Is instead of we ask, okay, you give me this. But another way, we go and sit into their sprint review meetings. So if we
Mm,
ask, okay, there's a timeline for 2.5 months. But on the other hand, we go into their end of the first month and try to see, okay, how this is done.
mm,
When a request provider is automatically coming into your forum
mm,
and asking for a slot, hey, you can present this topic for 15 minutes. We definitely join you and then we give our valuable feedback. That definitely changed the course. So
mm.
initially, I was also struggling. I was waiting for that same 2 months. Then I say, no, this is
This
not
is
done.
not.
But then we have to look for an approach changes, and that really benefited.
Mm.
But as said, like yeah, those were the challenges. Yes.
Yeah. So so you are also working with new engineers, I think, in Bosch. So I just want to get your perspective on what skills new engineers that are coming into your company or working with you, or you are observing new guys coming into your team or other teams. Where do you see there is a skill gap? And what do you, according to you, what is those skills that would have helped if those new engineers would have the skill? It will help in their productivity and help them in their careers.
Okay, the one challenge what we see is the new developers they try to stick with their desired technology or whatever it is because it's not the case in most scenarios. You expect always the artificial intelligence or data science you will work, but that's not the case. When a developer comes into the work area, probably they have to start with an existing C++ application or Java application. Which they don't really like it. So
Okay.
probably the mindset is the first challenge.
Okay. That is
They
interesting.
are not really ready to adapt for a while, but then they were so curious to look at in this aspect. So that really blocks them their learning ability in the initial phase. Of course,
Mm.
they, they they have to give. I mean, they shouldn't think about okay, this is the higher weightage. I have to look at it that thing is the first thing, probably the mindset. But
Okay.
besides that, if any new environment, new learning, I think the new guys are always ready and look forward because it's always challenging for the older guys like me, maybe to jump into a new technology to learn it on a faster pace. That is a limitation there, but it's not with those young guys, I would say. So
Okay.
all they need to do is adapt a while and learn whatever is there also.
So any specific like non-technical skill you think that are really required in modern day companies that people should really work hard to build?
That's what I said. This openness and ready to adapt mindset. I think
Okay. Okay.
these are really important um, because that is the at least whatever the attritions or other things I have observed over this period.
Mm.
That is the main challenge.
That is a challenge. Interesting.
So at
Anything?
least we enable guys like me, the project managers, at least to look at okay, I mean how you have to work with the new age, and like in the past you have the intercultural, like how you have to work with your German or Japanese customers. Similarly,
Ah,
such training started, but on other hand, it's not new. I mean, it's not aware by the members who is out of college. At
hmm.
least my input is, of course, they have to understand for a while how this environment behaves and adapt it
Adapt themselves to it.
to it.
Oh, that is good. So what would you say is your mantra of success in your
Okay,
professional?
so for me, it's always a keep learning is the first point. As that even from my college days, so I was basically from I mean, my medium of instruction was Tamil, not English. So
Hmm.
it was little hard for me while got into the college.
Okay.
But of course, I mean, you should keep those challenges aside, but then you have to keep learning and then how you improvise yourself. That is important on the initial phase. So you shouldn't stop learning in every curve. So when I got into the company, of course, this is the scripting and other things, which was entirely uh, entirely different comparing to the outside world. So even the script called Metamorphosis used in Bosch,
Okay.
so it's not known to outside world. So you
Correct.
have to learn with this data, whatever you have it, and try to adapt it, and then to move forward. So then you learn the next one. The upskilling is always important, and the thirst for learning is mantra, I would say.
Okay. Okay, guys, I think that's a fair point and a very important one. I think 2 points, I think, Prem, I think you have mentioned, I've hit the nerve. And I also resonate with that with my own experience here. So one is, I think, people from students who believe that they are going to always work on some cutting edge, which is never true, which is never going to be true. You have to start with legacy. I think that is first one, whether it is C++ and and it could also be mainframe for that matter, because these are those are the things which run the current business today, I think, and that
Yes.
is important. AI and new agent tools are more explorative in nature, and maybe you can do some side activity if you are really interested in that. So that's a fair point. And second, I think what the key thing you mentioned is openness to learning new things. You are going to end up with facing tools and languages and scripting tools you have never seen before, but
Yes.
it is up to the engineers to really see and make it work. And I think third challenge, which I note, I think which Prem would also agree with, many students who come from tier two, maybe cities, will not be, they may have, as Prem said, his medium of instruction was Tamil, right? That would have, I'm
Yeah.
understand that would have been a challenge, I think, for his initial days in corporate life, because you are comfortable with one language and then you have to,
Yes.
the business language is going to be different. And I think that is one skill, I think, which is essential in whichever
Mm.
field, not just technical. The language of business in the country is English, and that is
Yes.
as simple as that. And the better we master it and better we improve our communication in that language, the more suitable we become. I think one key point that I also highlight is, while technical expertise is mandatory, I think our spoken and communication language skill is also very, very important, because that is how you engage your stakeholders meaningfully. So that's a fair point. I think I've just summarized that here. So finally, Prem, I would ask you, how do you see your career path yourself? What, at this point of time, after having worked 16 years, what do you think, no, is your goals for future?
So my point is keep exploring and then look for the breadth-oriented roles. So
Okay.
look at explore even just move out of your comfort zone where you're master in it, and then to explore. That's the real focus area I will be focusing on the next phases. Yeah.
Okay, so you would like to continue in the program manager, project manager, and expand your
Yes.
breadth in those dimensions itself is what you.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good. So Shachi, you have anything? So so any final no message, key tips that you would have for budding engineers who are still in the third year, final year kind of students entering into the waiting to enter into the industry?
Okay. Two inputs, as I already said. The one is adaptability, and the second one is at least be an initial level of programmer while
Hmm.
coming to corporate. So independent any language you like, but at least learn that one. That gives a distinct advantage comparing to the other colleagues. Yeah.
Okay, that is cool. So I think thank you so much, Prem. I don't think we have any more questions for you, but I think some valuable insights I think we have derived. I have noted a few points here. I
Definitely.
think thank you very much for your time and
Thanks.
openly sharing your experiences over here.
Yeah. Thank you both. I think it was able to. I'm able to recollect my old memories and then how was my career journey too. Thanks for that.
Sure, I
It
think
was
I
a
wish
nice.
you, I wish you all the best. I hope that no, if you have more time in the future, we can also engage in other no deeper insights from you. So
Definitely.
happy to
Sure,
connect.
Shanmugam. Keep you posted. Yes.
Yes. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Sure. Bye. See you.